It's Interview Friday here on Locked on Blue Jackets, as we are joined today by Blue Jackets prospect Charlie Elick.
You're Locked on Blue Jackets, your daily podcast on the Columbus Blue Jackets, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello and welcome to Locked on Blue Jackets, part of the Locked on Podcast Network, your team every day. I am, as always, your host Jay Foster, here to give you the good, the bad, and the ugly about your favorite team and mine, the Columbus Blue Jackets. Before we get started, I want to thank everyone for making this your first listen of the day every single day. Locked on Blue Jackets is free and available on all podcast platforms, over on YouTube and SiriusXM. I'd also like to let you know that today's episode is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more, because this summer FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. There's something for everyone every day, all summer long. Just visit FanDuel.com to get started. So we got another prospect interview for you. Charlie Elick, drafted in the second round of the 2024 NHL draft. We're going to talk about his draft day experience. We're going to talk about his time in Brandon. We're going to talk about his plans for the summer, for the future, all that good stuff. So I'm just going to play my conversation with Charlie. So let's kind of start out with the draft experience, because I feel like that's probably the big part of your summer has kind of been preparing for the draft and then experiencing that.
Sure.
But I wanted to talk a little bit about, like, when did you realize that being drafted was something that was going to be like an option for you?
Oh, for sure. I think it started a while back. Growing up in hockey, it was always a pretty cool thing to be drafted. Something that was a dream for me growing up. But living in Europe, playing there with my dad, playing pro for 6 years growing up was pretty cool. But when I really started to realize that I could make it a career like that, I'd say when I started really expanding my game, I'd say first year Bantam, making the AAA team as a '06 there, was pretty cool with all other '05s. That's where I really noticed that I could take off from the other guys in my age group, and that's where it kind of led from there. So working out and getting stronger every day from then really kind of led me to where I am today. So it's been pretty cool so far.
What was the draft experience like? Did you know that Columbus was interested in you, or was that kind of a surprise?
No, for sure. I had a lot of interest from a lot of teams, but Columbus was for sure one of the top on there for sure. But no, it was it was a long experience for sure, but it was something that I think I learned a lot from, really, in learning how to talk to people and going through interviews myself. So I think it was an overall good experience for me, and I landed in Columbus, so it's obviously a great place to be, and I know I'm gonna get lots of opportunity and ways to improve my game. So I'd say it was a good choice for me for sure.
Let's talk about Columbus for a little bit. What kind of player is Columbus getting now that they've drafted you? Like, if you had to give someone your own scouting report, what would you say?
I feel like I have an energy game. I bring a lot of energy to the team. Use my physicality and defensive side to lay guys out and defend that side of it, but then move pucks up to the forwards when I need it. And that's the biggest part of my game. And then with that, skating and moving up the ice, I think, is another part that Columbus is going to get from me. And from there, be a team guy. I drop a mitts for my guys and go from there. So,
is there a player in the NHL right now that that you model your game after? Like, was there anyone that you watched growing up that you were like, wow, I really want to be, I want to be that guy when I grow up,
Yeah, for sure. No, one guy that I really watched a lot growing up was Drew Doughty. He was someone that I kind of went to as a role model for my game. But as of right now, for guys that I kind of know I can play like in the league, would be someone like a Braden Schneider, who is has a two-way game, really physical and defends really well. He's stepped into a big role. Obviously, got some minutes with Trouba there, who I also know I can hit like. So I'd say him, and I just want to be able to expand my game to play someone like him and in the league one day. So for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like if you hit kind of Braden Schneider levels then I'm like, that feels like a success, if that's
Yeah, totally,
what
yeah.
you get to. We talked a little bit about kind of your game as a whole. Is there any aspect of your game that you take like the most pride in? Like, if you had to say, what is the one thing that that you can do better than maybe anyone else that was drafted, anyone else on your team? Like, what's your thing?
I'd have to say my physicality. That's something that I bring out all the time, and obviously I can get more consistent with it. But something that separates me would be that for sure. Like I try to use it as much as possible, obviously in the right time and space. But using my skating to get also body position on guys, I think is something that I have learned in the past, and it's something that I've gone through my whole life with. So it's I'd say that's the biggest aspect of my game that I know I can separate from other guys.
Kind of on the flip side of that, obviously, big summer training coming up, training camp at the end of it. What do you want to work on over the summer the most so you can like go to Columbus for training camp and really make like the best possible impression?
No, for sure. I've this summer's been a big summer for me, working out and obviously building my strength. But on the ice is this summer I've really been focusing on my puck skills, and really focusing on my consistency with making passes, and the first touch with the pucks I think has gone a lot better this summer. And from there, just going forward, I think that's going to be something that I'm focusing on a lot. I'm also moving my feet with the puck, I think, is the biggest thing for me, and going from there. So yeah, and I think just obviously can improve everywhere in my game, but from there, I think that's going to help me a lot in the long run.
Yeah, for sure. I want to talk a little bit about kind of the WHL and kind of your experience in junior hockey so far. Did you always want to go to the WHL? Like, did you consider the other major junior leagues? Did you consider college? Obviously, with your dad playing
Yeah.
in Europe, was that like an option that you really considered, or was it always no? I want to play kind of close-ish to home. I want to play in the WHL.
You know what? We had a lot of discussions about which kind of side to go to. My dad played for Wisconsin, so he knew that the college side of stuff there. But for me, being a dual citizen, I could have gone US NDP as well, and I turned that down actually. But for me, I think it was just the best thing for my case and where I am development wise and where I am gonna go into the league and stuff like that. I think it was a good choice for me to go to the Dub, as I was ready for that development right away, and playing at the higher level as soon as possible. So I think that was the right decision for me being there. And obviously, if I would have went to college, I had to wait a couple of years to get there, play in other major junior leagues. But I think the WHL was the right choice for me for sure.
I've got more of my conversation with Charlie coming up in just a second. But first, passion, drive, and patience is the formula for winning championships. It's also what keeps your ride or die alive. eBay Motors has everything you need to maintain your vehicle and level it up to peak performance. They've got superchargers, roof racks, exhaust kits, LED headlights, and more. Whether you're into speed, power, or style, eBay Motors has you covered. They've got over 122 million parts for your number one ride or die, so you're always going to find exactly what you're looking for. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, your part is guaranteed to fit your ride every single time, or your money back. Because with eBay Motors, you're going to burn rubber, not cash. All the parts you need at the prices you want. It's easy to make your car the MVP and bring home huge wins. Keep your ride or die alive. .com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply. eBay Guaranteed Fit is only available to US customers. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of conversation about like major junior versus college, and there's real kind of pros and cons to both. So it's always interesting to kind of hear what people's reasons are for kind of going one direction or the other. How have you enjoyed playing in Brandon so far?
Well, yeah, no, I've loved it. It's been a great city for me. Obviously, smaller city, a lot of travel, but I think it's just building my resilience, because it's been a lot, but it's no, great place for me. They've had a lot of opportunity for me defensively. Like last season, I got 25 minutes at the end of the year, which is a lot, and playing against other teams' top lines and being able to shut them down is something that I live for. So yeah, no, it's been a great time for me there. They do a lot for the young guys, and no, I think our team's gonna be better next year, so I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, you mentioned the travel there, and that's something that I always think about with the WHL. Obviously, just because Western Canada is so big that I don't know that I could cope with the travel. Is that like the worst part of it? Obviously, you have to go. Or I don't know how far west you go, but like it goes all the way out to like Vancouver Island, right?
Yeah,
So, Jake, is that the worst part of it? Just the travel, or?
yeah, you know what? That'd probably be the worst part of it, would be the overnight trips and stuff like that. But it's not too bad. Like when you're with your team, time flies by, so it's not a big deal too much. But yeah, I'd say that's the worst part. But playing the Dubs has been a crazy experience so far, and it's been the right choice. So I love it for sure.
Yeah, the Blue Jackets have had a lot of players come from the WHL over the past couple of years, and all of the ones that I managed to talk to have said nothing but good things about the WHL, which is always good to hear.
Yeah.
what's your favorite arena to play in apart from, like, obviously your home arena is the best one to
Yeah.
play in, but if you had to pick like an away arena that you always have a good time playing at, whether that's because the away crowd gets you really pumped up or the facilities are great, like what's
Yeah.
your favorite away arena to play in?
Yeah, I'll do 2 for this one because, obviously Edmonton's one of the nicest rinks in the world. Playing in the Rogers Centre has been, yeah, like a crazy facilities there. The rinks are so nice. But for personally, I love playing in Red Deer. The fans are always going at it, and I honestly love the ice there. So everything about Red Deer kind of gets me going. I normally play well there, so I'd say that's my favorite rink for sure.
Yeah. It's always funny how many people are like, yeah, no, I love to play in this arena because the crowd is always super loud and yelling at me, and I really love like when the crowd is angry at me. It's very funny that that's kind of a common thread among like WHL players, especially is kind of
Yeah, for sure.
what I've learned.
Yeah, good
Um,
setup for those games for sure. Yeah.
what's your best memory of the season been? Like, obviously the draft is probably up there, but is there any kind of on ice moments to you that really kind of stuck out?
Yeah, I think overall the whole season was a big one for me, but I think for me just kind of learning the ins and outs of the games against other teams' top lines, like being able to, like this year playing against Moose Jaw, playing against Jaeger, Furkers, and Savoy in their first line there was a big challenge, but
Oh, I bet.
yeah, going through those games, I think I learned a lot in how I play and how they play, and just kind of learning the game more. But I think the biggest memory from the season was just playing in those games and being up for a lot of minutes, and really just growing my game.
Yeah. What are your hopes for next season? Like, is there anything that you want to specifically accomplish, either like you yourself or as a team, or is it just kind of you're just gonna kind of take it game by game, day by day, and try and really kind of set yourself up for success in the
No,
future?
for sure. Yeah, we're gonna have a strong team next year, but obviously we just got to take it day by day. I think. I think just going by like last year, obviously had a tough matchup against Moose Jaw in the first round, but I think we had a really good build up towards then. Obviously, the Nate Downston trade kind of gave us some more momentum. I think because a lot of guys stepped up from then. But going forward, I think is just take it day by day, give everyone an opportunity, and I think really grow our team and a team that could make it far in next year's playoffs. So I think for the goal for the team would to make it deep into playoffs, and my goal would to help the team win to get there. So and I think it'd be those two for sure.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like it's always tough to get a team like Moose Jaw in an early matchup, and then obviously they go on to win it all. Does that like take some of the sting out of it that you kind of lost to the eventual champion, or is it just kind of, man, I really want to face these guys again next year
No,
and
for
be the
sure,
one
yeah.
to come out on top next
Took a
time?
little bit out of it, but no, it's obviously a tough feeling getting losing in the first round. You never want to be out that early, and obviously it's better than not making playoffs like we did the year before. But still, it's a tough feeling, and no, we'll get them next year for sure.
I actually watched a decent amount of that series because obviously Blue Jackets prospect Denton Matejchuk was on that team,
Yeah,
and
right.
it was a fun series for a lot of different reasons. But
Yeah, totally.
that's kind of what I want to talk about next. Actually, is I mentioned a little bit earlier the Blue Jackets have a lot of prospects playing in the WHL or have come from the WHL. Is there anyone that kind of is already on the team that you like? I know a lot of guys skate with guys during the summer. Like, is there anyone on the team that you're already familiar with, or is it kind of all new guys, all new
You know
friends to
what?
me?
It's mostly new guys. I actually was skating with Jake Bean before he got traded, obviously, but that was probably the closest connection I had. Other than that, I know Lindstrom really well. Me and him are kind of tight now, so that's been a good step forward. And obviously, the guys from that draft I've gotten close with at Dev Camp. But from there, yeah, Matejchuk, I'd say him too. Another guy in the dub that I look up to defensively as well. So from there, I'd say really just those guys.
Gonna finish up my conversation with Charlie in just a second, but first I want to tell you all about FanDuel. I love sports. I love them so much. In the mirror, there's no games happening right now. The sports aren't sporting like I want them to. However, don't worry, FanDuel lets me and you keep the sports going whenever we want. All we have to do is open the app and dream up bets anytime we're in the mood. This summer, FanDuel is hooking up all their customers with a boost or a bonus every single day. That's right, there's something for everyone, every day, all summer long. So head on over to FanDuel and start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting of Major League Baseball, and also us, the Locked On Podcast Network. Are you looking forward to not having to play against guys like Matejchuk next season?
Yeah, a little bit. He was a force to be reckoned with out there for sure. But no, I honestly enjoyed playing those type of guys. It's growing my game and getting me better. So it's I live up to it. But if they're gone, it's not a big deal either.
Yeah, I feel like it's. I'd rather play against guys that are better than me and learn something than guys that aren't as good and not
For
learn
sure,
anything. You know, obviously speaking of Dev Camp, you just spent some time in Columbus for that. Like, what did you enjoy? What did you enjoy the most about Dev Camp? Was it just kind of the experience? Did you enjoy getting to see the city? Was it like what was the best bit about? What was the best part of kind of
Yeah,
going?
the overall experience there was great. You know, getting to see the facilities that were run there. Haven't been there before, so that was pretty cool. See the full dressing room and stuff like that. Obviously, getting the Columbus gear is pretty sweet feeling. But from there, yeah, we got to walk around the city a little bit near the arena there, which is pretty cool. All the strip restaurants there that we've gone to. And from that, we went to the baseball game. So you know, the whole experience there was good. Gotta get some development in, which helped a lot. And yeah, I went from there. So it was a great camp. It was really fun there.
Yeah, busy week though, I bet.
Yeah, it was busy for sure, but it was enjoyable. So I can't complain.
Yeah. What did you know much about Columbus before you got drafted there? Like, obviously, you said that you'd never been there before, but like, did you know anything about it beyond like, oh yeah, they have an NHL team?
Yeah, no. I learned a little bit about it when Gaudreau got traded because I'm from Calgary, and he was a big inspiration for me. I had season tickets to Calgary games a while ago, so I always go watch him. But from that, I got to go to learn a little bit more about it. But to be honest, yeah, still pretty new with it, and always still learning. So.
Obviously, you mentioned in Gaudreau there. How cool is it to? Because I didn't know about kind of that connection there. How cool is it that you got drafted to the team that Johnny Gaudreau plays on?
Yeah, it's a crazy feeling. Obviously, with Monahan being there too, it's it's gonna be crazy. But no, I just obviously got to build myself to making it one day. So get there, and then I can say I play with him. So it's pretty cool. Yeah,
it's not a bad goal to have.
Not at all. Yeah.
I want to finish off with just one last question. What do you like to do when you're not playing hockey? Because I know that if it was up to you, you would just play hockey all day, every day, forever. Sure. But like, what do you do when you are away from the rink?
Yeah, I have a few things. I like to go fishing a lot. That's something that we do a lot. We go fly fish. We have a trailer set up 2 hours south of Calgary, no service, stuff like that. So we go.
Oh, that sounds really nice.
Yeah, it is. Get out there for a couple days every so often and go fly fish and catch some big fish sometimes. But other than that, I like golfing. I have a year-end membership at a course right in my neighborhood here, so it's pretty nice. 2-minute drive and play an 18 whenever I want. So it's pretty sweet. I'd say those are the two biggest things for me.
Yeah, it's nice to just have an outside hobby sometimes. Yeah. I feel like with a sport like hockey, but that's kind of all I've got for you today. So thanks for coming to hang out on the podcast. Looking forward to seeing you at training camp. Obviously, bring in kind of the best version of yourself, and enjoy the rest of your summer. And congratulations again on getting drafted to what I think was the best team to be drafted to, but I might be biased.
No, for sure. No, thanks so much again. That was a great talking to you, and yeah, looking forward to camp and everything. So thank you.
And that's all I've got for today. We will be back with you on Monday with another episode of Locked On Blue Jackets. Thank you for listening to this episode, for making it your first listen of the day. Locked On Blue Jackets is free and available on all podcast platforms. We're over on YouTube and on Sirius XM. You can find me on Twitter at _Foster, JAKOBFORSTER. You can find the show at LO_Blue Jackets. If you have comments, questions, criticisms, you can email me at lockedonbluejackets@gmail.com. Thank you once again for listening. We'll be back on Monday. Until then, make sure you stay locked on.